Welcome to AIDEAS, where we share with you our take on what is happening in the world of AI, what is going on, and what does it mean. So, Peyton, in our first episode, where are we now? What is your take on that?
Well, we're somewhere new every day.
Ha!
It is a crazy time. I'm really excited to be with you here and to talk about this stuff. I'm super curious about it. And if I was going to summarize where we're at now, one would just be pointing to our velocity and our acceleration. We are genuinely in a new paradigm every 6 months. Breakthroughs are happening, but the pace of just the background scaling laws, things get more intelligent and then help you work on them is really picking up, even agnostic of any breakthroughs. And some of the core landmarks that I would say we've seen, one would be the Turing test, which was, I would say, a couple years ago. Now it's the beginning of 2026. We've seen the GDP benchmark reach 70%, where humans in their own fields, human experts in their own fields, saying that AI was producing better outputs than them in their own area of expertise 70% of the time. And we see these models that are more and more good across the board, and what's more, really good at improving themselves, really good at writing code, and now are participating in the acceleration of the technology itself. And so the curve is going up and up and up, and the scale up of the infrastructure with this technology is the other notable force in the equation, which is power, compute, and the resources and machinery that goes into compute, and the very complex supply chain that all of this involves. How would you summarize where we are at now and how we have gotten here over the last few years in AI?
Well, we used AI before, but now we use generative AI every day, probably to solve a problem which we have, like in maybe a challenge we face, and we widen this narrowness with the intelligence we just have on tap. We open it up and then it flows and opens up our limitations, and we can just proceed and progress and be more productive with it. So we are at this intelligence explosion where the models become bigger and better every day, where we just can ask a sensible question and the model discovers it with us, where we can co-create stuff with the models, where we just have this emergence of agents which also can do menial tasks for us and with us. And there's a different kind of step-by-step approach on this human agency scale, where we can either like be inspired by some output of AI and take the whole task ourselves, step by step more take some tasks for ourselves and give some tasks to AI, or put it all to be worked out by AI. And there are different merits to each of these approaches. And we have to develop the judgment now when we have to think about what. And Peyton, where does this all lead to?
It's a great question. And wherever it's going there fast.
Very fast.
Yes, very fast. The core thing that I see on the horizon is, in the last few months, let's say, Claude Code in particular got really, really good at software engineering, much more so than it already was. It was already impressive. Now it's really, really impressive. It's getting better at what they call research taste, although that lags a long way behind coding. And the engineering skill sets are evolving of these things. And so maybe 2 years ago, it could accelerate its own development 10%. And then a year ago, it could accelerate it 20%. And now it might accelerate itself 40%. And this acceleration effect keeps growing and it's self-reinforcing. And so we're on this level where the speed of progress gets faster and faster because the AI is more and more capable of working on itself, developing itself. And there's some point at which that accelerates further, further, further until it's at a very, very steep trajectory. So where does that steep trajectory go? The term that's commonly thrown out there is artificial general intelligence. And the term or definition for that that's now used, which is, by the way, a bit of a goalpost moving. I think it's, if we were looking at this 10 years ago, we would look at the models that we currently have and say, yeah, that's artificial general intelligence. It's really good at doing my taxes, and it can paint me a painting, and it can interpret this article, and it can write a song, and it can code a website on its own, and it's better than me at legal work and marketing, and it can tell me how to fix my car, and it is generally intelligent already. But the hard definition of general intelligence is that it's better at all humans at everything we do, everything that we do involving intelligence, or better than a Nobel laureate at science, better than the world's best lawyer at legal drafting, better than the world's best marketer at creating a website and selling a product, better than our doctors at diagnosing, better than our chemists at coming up with new compounds and running experiments and all of this thing. And this is closer than our intuitions may feel. I think that the range for this is somewhere, I believe, 1 to 5 years away. Some people can make a really good argument that it's 1 to 10 years away, but certainly not more than a decade, unless there's a giant disruption in the supply chain, which is possible.
Hmm.
This is, I think, the key landmark. This changes a lot of what it is like to exist. This changes a lot of how the economic systems and our cultures work. This is the biggest disruption that our species has had, maybe since farming or something like that. It's a big deal. It's a really big deal, and it's coming in hot. It's coming in faster than those things.
Hmm.
And so, where are we going is in part a globe that partially reorganizes around this new resource, and also reorganizes a lot of existing resources and mobilizes them toward this new resource. So the proliferation of infrastructure, of compute, of energy, of data centers, namely, and everything that goes into them will be bigger and bigger and bigger, and scale up probably orders of magnitude from where it currently stands. And the organization of how things work, what we assign value to what, how things are created, who thinks of the ideas and how they're executed, how fast they flow, etc. This will be a really interesting tidal wave that flows out through the world that we will witness, and that will change a lot of things. The opportunity of all of this is hard to overstate. This could cure a lot of diseases. This could fix a lot of our material problems. This could alleviate ton of human suffering if things go well. And with something so powerful, there are risks as well as the opportunities, which we may talk about in some episodes. And so, what would you say? Where does it go? How would you summarize what you anticipate coming up on the map of AI?
Well, it changes fast. Things will change fast. This will accelerate, and things will change even faster, because the things humans created, like sand, which now thinks, also has agency now. So if you multiply that with each other, then you have like this emergence of new kinds of behavior which we maybe have not thought about yet. So you talked about that red queen race, essentially, that things are changing faster and faster, and to keep up with the pace of change, if we want to have a relevant opinion on that, we have to run twice as fast as we can to even stay at the same place, or to get a little bit ahead. So it's like in Alice in Wonderland, because every day the news show that this guy hacked something upgrade, and then we have now a social network of AI agents, and they create a new religion. So things will get crazy really fast, and this also prompts us to go back to what we know about us and ourselves, to redefine our humaneness. What does it mean to be human? What is our human experience about? So it's not only about the technological change, which is rapid, not only about the red queen race in terms of we have to run as fast as we can to stay at the same place, and twice as fast to even go ahead. This will lead to an age of abundance, I believe, because if this thing we humans are a bootloader for, this digital super intelligence which may emerge, which we created, if this will continue, then we will have a lot of intelligence around all of us, our lives, to solve so many problems that we currently have and face in our day-to-day lives. If we can manage to be as conscious as possible about not doing harm to each other and become more and more aware of our impact on our world, our surroundings, and ourselves, to not decay too fast as a species, to not cease too fast because we destroy ourselves. If we manage to do that, I believe we enter an age of abundance, because intelligence is on tap now and robots can do stuff and sand can think. And this may be amazing. So what does it all mean, Peyton?
Mm, you put it so well. How I would frame it is we're passing through a threshold. We're passing through what some have called the adolescence of technology into its culminative stage, into where everything has been leading since we invented the transistor and the computer and the internet, to now it's kind of coming together. The climax of technology, what will be on the other side. This is a threshold we've never passed through before, obviously. We don't know exactly how it will go. We don't know what will happen in what order. There's going to be new disruptions, new risks, new opportunities, new offense, new defense, all of these forces playing out, all of these potential fragilities in the system of what is trying to create this superhuman power. And so for me, it is the greatest show on earth, the most fascinating thing to witness go on in front of us. This thing that is coming to shape our world and to shape our place in the world and to open up so many opportunities for radical agency, for radical possibility, for radical opening, and also to open up many things that we should be paying attention to, watching out for. The shift of the ground is imminent, and we want to position ourselves in a wise way. We want to navigate with open eyes, given all of these things, and think critically about how these different forces will interact. So that's what excites my curious mind about all of this. How to anticipate, how to recognize the black swans that will emerge, the shifts in our culture, socioeconomic systems that will emerge, even the geopolitical elements of this, which can be fascinating, especially taking into account the so many single points of failure in the supply chain, from the one mine of quartz in North Carolina that produces 80 to 90% of the quartz in these machines, the one manufacturer in Germany of all of the lenses that can be used to etch the lasers of these machines, the one manufacturer of the lasers of these machines, the one manufacturer of the machines that can make these chips, the one company in Taiwan that can actually use those machines to make those chips, the one company in America that can actually put those together into GPUs to make these advanced artificial intelligence technologies. This is this incredible game with these various chess pieces on the board. These geopolitical forces interact with it. And all the while, this line of advancement in the underlying intelligence itself accelerates, and also accelerates in its ability to marshal resources efficiently, to train efficiently. And so we have this incredible playing field in front of us, and it's happening very fast. It's happening in real time. There is something new that's fascinating that drops on a monthly basis. And so very excited to be talking about it. Very excited to be connecting with you about it. How would you describe the what does it mean in your own framing?
I would describe it is the meaning we will give to it. We are now in this transition phase. You coined it well. It's like kind of an adolescence phase where we now have to shape this malleable place in time and space with what is happening right now, to be sure that we integrate it well into our personal lives so that we stay sane in a world which is moving so fast, into the business lives, into companies, to make sure that it honors and serves humans. So that is like a human-centered AI transformation taking place. That people will give away tasks which they didn't like to do in the first place, and also have the ability to make their strength more productive, so that we can serve with our uniqueness society and the world and ourselves and our families and loved ones. So that we stay sane as a company as well. That means you need to be more productive, And you can also spread the gains of the economic productivity gains over all the people. And the same applies to humanity as a whole, to not use it to destroy each other and ourselves only, but to use it to become more conscious of what it is about to be human, become more conscious about that we are meant to connect with each other. And trade and capitalism in its purest form is about producing value and giving each other value without needing to have like a big relationship before that, but to honor the principles which are basic on our flourishing, which are the foundations of our flourishing, which can lead to abundance and not destruction. And this is what it means. We can form now at this place and time how it will realize itself in society and at least shape our lives with it. Teach others how we could shape it so that we could stay sane, so that we could use it to flourish and not to destroy ourselves. And then try to find ways and patterns which are beneficial for organizations as well, and reflect on those together and share these together as well, so that we can integrate this new kind of form of life, even if it will become that way, into a peaceful coexistence with us. Hopefully, this is what it means, that we have still agency to shape what comes in a good way.
And this is my intention for this podcast, for this time, for this threshold of changing, is maximize agency. Let us retain our human agency. Let us increase our human agency. Let us recognize the opportunities. That chaos is a ladder, that change and technology presents this incredible, incredible stage of growth, for growth within, for growth without, for manifesting and shaping various things in the world to make the world a better place for ourselves, for those we love, and for the whole, even for ecosystems, even for all of humanity all over the world. This is the opportunity. And so in this podcast, this is what I will come back to, is how do we use whatever is going on? How do we step into this shifting sea in a way that maximizes our agency, in a way that allows for the greatest amount of human agency? How about you? What is your intention for the series?
As well, use it to become higher agency and to form the world with the ideas which emerge from my own uniqueness, to give back the gift the world gave to me, to fulfill the expectations the world has towards my flourishing, and to help others flourish as well.
Thank you, my friend. Excited to talk more about all these things. Lots to unpack here. I will see you on the next one.
See you on the next one, man. Bye.